As we know that quantum positioning, quantum entanglement and quantum interference, they are the basics of quantum mechanics. So as in quantum mechanics, observed is affected by the observer. The activity, the quantum mechanical activity, it collapses when observed. Now we come on similarity of the process of transcendence. When we know that we have three: waking, dreaming and sleeping state. So when one goes beyond it, that is called transcendental state. So what happens in transcendental state? All these waking, dreaming and sleeping state are the fluctuating state. If we compare it with particle wave theory, then our consciousness is wavering. It keeps on changing every moment. In waking, it settles down a little bit. In sleeping and dreaming. But as soon as the consciousness, when the owner of the consciousness, that impulse, that conscience, that knowingness, that feeling of existence, that is swa, that is self, when that self, that impulse, when it is impulsive, when it is fluctuating, it is called mana, mind. When it settles down, then it is called atma. It means when mind is observed like the observer, then mind collapses. Similarly, as in quantum mechanics, if observed is affected by the observer and activity collapses. Similarly, when the mind, the observer, mind starts behaving like observer, and mind, when it is wavering, it is mind. When it settles down, it is atma. Atma means soul. And soul has the property of absolute nothingness, absolute no activity, absolute vacuum, absolute nothingness, but having potential of everythingness. Everything comes out from the same source, which is nothingness. Whatever term we give to that state, whether it is unified field, whether it is the total potential of natural law, or that absolute from where all grosser things comes out. So it means when in quantum mechanics we understand that observer affects the observed, the activity collapses there. So similarly we can understand as soon as the mind which is wavering, that is mind, as soon as mind observes itself as the observer, because mind itself is the soul, it is the impulse of soul. So as soon as mind is observed by the mind itself becomes observer, then the activity collapses and it merges into that totality, that stability, that nothingness, that unity, that unmanifested level, that is unified field. And that absolute, when mind collapses, it collapses and becomes absolute. Mind becomes soul. That is the science of quantum mechanics. When observed is affected by the observer and activity collapses. And similar thing happens in the process of meditation. When one meditates, then the mind, which is mind till it is wavering, and as soon as it collapses, it settles down, it becomes soul. So because mind itself is the observer, and when it observes itself, then because it is the impulse of that quantum mechanics of soul, it collapses and mind merges into soul. Mind converts into soul. And that is the process of transcendence. And that transcendence is the state of absolute. And that absolute unifies whole universe. And that's why when it is said that light travels from sun to earth, it takes 8 minutes. But in quantum mechanics, if two particles are entangled together, then if one particle is at sun and one is at earth, and if some changes happen in one part on the earth, then the other part on the sun collapses, or some changes happen immediately. It doesn't take 8 minutes. What time light takes to travel from sun to earth? It means that some activity is much faster than the light. When it is said that light travels like it is 6,000 miles per second. So now the thing is that if it is taking not less, but it is simultaneously happening. If one part is at sun, one part is at earth, and if they are entangled, quantum mechanically entangled, then the changes, if changes happen at one part, in one part, then it is very simultaneously happen in other part, which is much far. Even light takes 8 minutes to travel from earth to sun. But in quantum entanglement, if one part has some changes, the other part which is at sun and this part is at earth, changes take simultaneous action. What does it mean? It means that that is the unified value. That is the unification. That is what is said in Veda, yatha pinde tatha brahmande, anu raniyan mahato mahiyan. So it happens, everything in the universe. There is one very interesting story in Yoga Vashisht, a very important text, that is Rani Chudala's story. So it talks about quantum mechanics. It talks about the nuclear level, how one can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper to infinite level. So the thing is that when we transcend in the level of transcendence, everything is unified. If that is called telepathy, that is, but through this telepathy is possible, teleporting is possible, everything is possible. And when all these things are described in a very ancient text, which is existing from time immemorial, so it is not miracle. Miracle means if simply we don't understand something, that is miracle. As soon as we start understanding it, it becomes science and technology. So if our knowledge has some boundary, till now, we don't know what will happen in future. If today we have some limitations, we don't understand few things, it doesn't mean that all those things which are not understandable are not science and technology. It simply means that our vision has not reached yet to understand that. And that is all what is dealt in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. That is all what is dealt in Vedic sciences. Now, this is the aspect, very important aspect, which is dealt in SthapatyaVed. In SthapatyaVed, how the radiations from all planets and celestial body, they convert into matter as per the requirement of human physiology, and that is what is described in Vaastu Purusha Mandala. That is the secret manifestation, not secret, but secret because we don't know that. That is the codified micro level of macro universe. Vaastu Purusha Mandala of SthapatyaVed is micro expression of macro universe, and this is the secret of quantum mechanics, how the universe functions on the manifested level. If we construct one house as per the principles of SthapatyaVed, Vedic architecture, then what are the secrets, how we can create all those required materials required for human psyche, human physiology, human existence in accordance with natural law, to make absolutely physiology, absolutely human physiology, absolutely in alliance with natural law. So whatever nourishments are required by manifested values, manifested value means all minerals, vitamins, protein, carbohydrate, which are provided by the manifested value, means all food grains and milk and fruits and salts and so many things. All those can be provided quantum mechanically by those radiations and waves provided by the universe, provided by the celestial bodies, and how to get those radiations, how to convert those radiations as per human requirement. That is the science and technology of SthapatyaVed, hidden in the principles of Vaastu Purusha Mandalas, which are expressed wonderfully. And there are 32 types of Vaastu Purusha Mandalas, and how sequentially these things expand as per the proportion, as per the measurements, as per the dimensions, as per the orientations. These are wonderful principles which are going to be unfolded in future as the quantum mechanics grows in future. I foresee all those great principles which are there in Maharishi SthapatyaVed are going to be verified by quantum mechanical theories, what we are going to receive unfold in the future in human consciousness. So, today, if we want to wait for future till the quantum mechanics is completely unfolded, well, let us wait for that period or time, or try to utilize knowledge of SthapatyaVed for construction of every room, every home, every town planning, every country planning, to get best of the quantum mechanical world, which is called Vaastu Purusha Mandala in Maharishi SthapatyaVed, and enjoy all those possibilities. All those, we can address all those diseases, all those problems which are unsolved yet, which can't be addressed yet. Like what is facing by, suffering from many, like multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer, Parkinson's. And why? Because science says that everything happens because of some reason. we have so much technology, we have so much advanced knowledge of science and technology, then why we are unable to find out the reason behind Parkinson's and Alzheimer and multiple sclerosis? Only few glimpses here and there. Quantum mechanics of the consciousness, of the radiation, has the secret to address all these problems. And because all these problems are occurring because of deficiencies of some material or components or vitamins or minerals or whatever in human physiology, which is causing some less nourishment, which makes nervous system, muscular system, or consciousness or psyche less complete, and that causes diseases. And that nourishment lies in those radiations coming from all those celestial bodies, and that is the quantum mechanics of radiations, which are very much expressed in Vaastu Purusha Mandala of SthapatyaVed. I invite all the wonderful scientists who are engaged in the quantum mechanics, the study of quantum mechanics related in the field of medicine, in field of human physiology, in field of psychology, all this technology, how waves and radiations converts into matter. And these waves, radiations coming from all those celestial bodies, how those photons, which are particle in waves together, how those variations which are created by different seasons, because Earth moves around the sun, and because of radiation of sun, the angle of radiation of the sun, interference of all celestial bodies, all the particles, all the atmosphere in between sun and Earth, because of all those interferences, because of all those angles, the season changes on the Earth, the quality of radiation changes on the Earth, and physical chemical qualities changes on the Earth. And that causes different fruits, different crops, different quality of temperament in human physiology. So similarly, if we can decode those radiations, and those principles are hidden, I repeat, hidden in the manifestation, in the coding of Vaastu Purusha Mandalas of SthapatyaVed, a branch, very important branch of Vedic science. If we decode that, we can decode all the problems, we can create solution of all the problems of medical sciences, of diseases which are there in human physiology, and we are unable to cure it by manifested values. Manifested value means by medicines, by materials, by chemicals, by chemical compositions. Then if we can decode these principles, and it is very well decoded in Vaastu Purusha Mandalas, depicting all those radiations, all those qualities by the name of Devatas. And Devata is made up of Devadhatu. And this is the science and technology of Vedic science, that every word is made up of basic element. And that Devata is made up of Dev element. And Dev means light and energy. So all these Devatas are various physical chemical properties of radiations coming from different angles of celestial bodies in different seasons, and that is how all these variations of different season are expressed in all the branches of all the detailed knowledge of SthapatyaVed. How that is called Rahu Mukh, how it changes in a fixed time period, how the quality of radiation changes. And this is something wonderful. If we decode it, then we take modern terminology and we try to understand it by quantum mechanical theory, and then we start following it, and then we get rid of all the problems which are making humanity suffer. And if we are wise enough not to wait for that, let us start following all the principles of SthapatyaVed and start getting the benefit of it. And just by starting getting benefit of all those problems, all those diseases which are making us, suffer, we can address those problems. So there are two ways. One, we do experiment in lab, then we try to use in human physiology or society, or we start using that, enjoying that, and by getting all those benefit, we can make statistical statements that, well, by following the principles of SthapatyaVed, all these things, all these diseases are addressed properly. And this is another way of verifying the knowledge. So I invite all the brilliant people of medical science or physiology or neurosciences or astronomical sciences to come and try to decode in their language the wonderful secret knowledge of Maharishi SthapatyaVed, which is described all the great Maharishis and Rishis and all the scholars of Vedic scientists who were Vedic scientists. So if everybody is listening me and trying to solve the problems of humanity, they are most welcome to come and get the exposure of SthapatyaVed to address all the problems which are not addressed yet by the brilliance and so-called achievements, brilliant achievements of modern science. Now let us complement it one step ahead by the wonderful, excellent knowledge of SthapatyaVed to address the knowledge of medical science, technology, by the quantum mechanics of SthapatyaVed to address all the problems what humanity is suffering but unable to address. I see all the solutions in the micro manifestation of macro universe in the form of Vaastu Purusha Mandalas of SthapatyaVed. So I again invite all the brilliant genius brains of medicine, physicians, doctors, pharmacists, all those brilliant people who are interested to make this word a beautiful word, to come together and try to decode the knowledge of SthapatyaVed, the Vaastu Purusha Mandala, to get best benefit of the knowledge which is available on this earth by the modern science and technology of using the terms and technology and terminology of quantum mechanical theories. So I see all the problems, solutions, all the solutions of all problems, whether it is of physical level, mental level, or spiritual level, in the manifestation of Vaastu Purusha Mandalas of SthapatyaVed. I again and again welcome all brilliant geniuses of all dimensions of life to solve the problems of humanity. Just I welcome them. You can contact me on the numbers given below.